Hey nerds, it is Thor's Day, and you know what that means? We are talking some Marvel stuff. Tonight we're talking about the Moon Knight big game trailer, and we've got some Marvel Cinematic News, Cinematic Universe news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. Stick around and don't miss out. This is the FOMO Show. MCU edition, of course. But anyway, so like I said, thanks for watching. My name is Dylan.
I'm Quinn.
Hi, Quinn.
Yeah.
And, so whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so that you know when we go live and when we drop new videos and all that fun stuff. Also, thank you guys for your support, whether that be monetarily or just buying merch or just sharing or liking. Those are also big deals. So thank you guys so much. And don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. Just a little update on the website. Apparently it was down. I didn't know. So yesterday it is back up and running. It is like it is normal. So yeah. You all right? Did you hit yourself in the nose with your pen?
Yes.
All right, so special notes, just stay healthy and take necessary precautions for the pandemic or whatever you're doing. I know in Northwest Arkansas right now we are experiencing like an ice storm. You got a sheet of ice on the roads. We're getting a refreeze and then not warm enough to unfreeze it, then it'll refreeze overnight. It's nuts right now. So that's why Quinn's at his house and I'm at mine. So
yes,
Quinn can't come out and play. It's not safe.
No, it's literally just crunchy sound.
Yeah.
Under our feet.
Mm-hmm. So also just thoughts and prayers, I guess, for lack of a better term, to the Ukraine tonight. What's going on over there? Just mindful of that. Yeah. So don't really know what to say. We're not a political show, so I'm not going to get into that. But just acknowledge the tragedy that's happening over there. So I guess I'm going to pass it on to you. We'll go on to the next thing.
If you haven't left, oh God, no! What happened? I'm okay.
You good?
Yeah. I remember what I was gonna do. Go ahead. Say. I'm gonna pass it on to Quinn.
I'm gonna pass it on to Quinn.
Why did you call me Quinn? Anyway.
Can you not tell the difference between your waking life and your dreams?
This is your spoiler alert. If you haven't left now, well, it's almost too late. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl Moon Knight trailer. If you haven't watched that,
we can't say Super Bowl, by the way. We can't say that. Legally, we can't say that.
Legally, we can't say it?
Legally, I didn't say it. You have to say big game. I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, but don't want to get shut down.
The game that happened a couple of weeks ago? Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
The game that happened, the really big one.
Last week. Last Sunday.
Was it last Sunday?
Sunday before last. Yeah.
Time is weird.
It is.
If you haven't watched that, pause this, go watch that, and then come back. You've been warned. Because I choked to death.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you were on a roll there, man. But, yeah.
All right. Are we going to rate it?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily applicable unless you feel like you want to.
No, it gave us a little more information, and then we've had a couple of screen screenshots, not screenshots, but photos since then.
Yep.
I think the one thing it really did was gave us a few more lines from Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur Harrow. Harrow.
That's how I've heard it pronounced. I don't know either way. You know how things get weird, like when you're reading comics and you say it a certain way, like Cthulhu. Nobody knows how to pronounce Cthulhu or Cthulhu or words like that are in text. Like I remember it being a big joke with kids who read Wolverine growing up. We used to call people knuckleheads because we didn't realize that it was knuckleheads because it's got a K in front of it.
That's neat. Okay. Yeah, I feel that very hard in several different aspects. Try to pronounce a name that doesn't actually exist, in any Dungeons and Dragons book.
Yeah.
Fantasy names are a mother. So, but yes.
I feel like we need that thing on, is it on Google search where you can have it say the word for you?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
I should have got tape and taped this right here so I didn't have to keep looking up and down. But yeah, I think the last time we talked about this, you said he was a remix between.
Hold on just a second. So usually at this point we go into MCU news, but for the sake of pacing, we're going to jump right in. We're going to do the MCU news on the back end and just see how that goes. Just a little channel update there. Because typically we get kind of hung up on that, and that's not really what people came for, so let's jump right into the Moon Knight thing, so here we go. About how it all... And I've got the trailer and everything pulled up, so we can kind of watch it, unless you want to preface it.
No, because, the disclosure... Currently, I can't see you, but I can see me, and I'm watching you on my other side.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's kind of odd. So yeah, you guys cut him a little break. He can't really see what you guys can see and what I can see at the moment.
I will.
So he'll be getting it a couple seconds later.
Yeah. If you want to run,
a little odd delay.
Want to run through the trailer real fast, and you talk, and I will probably talk after, since I will be a few seconds behind.
Yeah, because we got to talk over it, otherwise people get weird about stuff like that. And we're gonna jump around on it and stuff like that. So it probably won't play it all the way through, but here we go. If you've probably seen it, if not most of it, and so we got these shadowy, white with shadows kind of theme, visual language for Moon Knight, because he is unique in that he is wearing all white. And I remember when I first heard about Moon Knight, of course, people are like, oh, he's like Batman, because that's what everybody says. But I think that's kind of... Moon Knight has changed a lot over the years. That's kind of one of the things about him, is that he adapts and he changes and all that kind of stuff. Like at first, his... what I just went blank. What is the god that
Khonshu?
Khonshu, yeah, Khonshu. First, Khonshu was kind of like an influence on him, but now Khonshu is just like a being, like it is a god that lives in his head and he converses with and is actually there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of adapted over the years, but one of the things you first notice about him is that he wears all white, and it's like, if you're a hero or avenger of the night or whatever, why are you wearing all white? Like everybody can see you. And and so that is the interesting thing about him. Is, of course, he is an avatar of the moon god Khonshu, Egyptian moon god Khonshu, and his powers are kind of based on the cycles of the moon, the phases of the moon, and how powerful he is and stuff like that. So he wears all white, and of course comics representative of the moon. But his answer to that is that it's so that bad guys can see him coming.
Yeah. Just like, Daredevil. Deadpool wears red so they don't know when you're bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you wear your brown pants.
Yeah.
By the way, Free Guy is on Disney Plus now. That's a great movie with Ryan Reynolds. Great new movie.
Also on HBO Max. That's
is
weird.
it? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it. It's fantastic.
Yes. So yeah, Moon trailer. Wait,
so this
have you
visual
started?
language.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I was just explaining the white shadow. Like as far as like in the comics, that's one of the difficult things about drawing him is that there's no colors or anything. It's all black and white shadow.
So, a lot of lines.
Mm-hmm. And even more difficult now that we're getting the mummy aspect of him, and some people are not too excited about that, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it makes sense with an Egyptian
moon god.
Yeah, I think the dog's trying to get in, but oh well. Yeah, so all right, here we go.
I can't tell the difference.
So yeah, we get Khonshu speaking to him, and we've got Steven, who is so.
It must be very difficult.
All right, I'm just gonna go. It's happening pretty quick. All right, so in the very beginning, we've got, of course, Steven, who is one of the alters of the main character. He is
Mark Spector.
Yeah, Mark Spector.
Yeah.
So, another interesting thing about, if you're not familiar, a lot of people are not familiar with Moon Knight, so that's why I'm kind of over-explaining everything. And even though we've already done a Moon Knight video, you may have not seen that. But one of the interesting things about Moon Knight in particular is that Mark Spector is the main character, and he, because he's got an Egyptian god basically living in his head, his personality has split, and he's got different personalities. He's got Stephen Grant, who is this main person that we're seeing right here, and we have seen mainly in the trailers. That's kind of like this kind of feeble person, but in the comics, he's more of like the Bruce Wayne type. So I'm not sure what. Isn't that correct? He's the millionaire guy, Stephen Grant, right?
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, literally Bruce Wayne. And then you have Mark, who's the original, who's the mercenary.
Yeah, he's
Then
kind
you
of like a Lara Croft, Indiana Jones type guy.
Yeah. Then you have Mr. Knight.
Yeah.
Mr.
Well, don't
Knight?
forget about.
Mr. Knight.
Yeah. Don't forget about. Hold on, I think the dog's trying to get in. Just one second.
Okay. And with all of these personalities, he is quite the. I just now saw Dylan leave. This is very interesting.
The kids are running around with a dog out there. So anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. Did you talk about the taxi driver? I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, correct. Yeah, no, the Chicago taxi driver.
Yeah. Forget his name. He hasn't shown up in the trailers as far as we know just yet.
No.
And we were wondering if we're going to get him as well as Mr. Knight that you mentioned earlier, but because, let me see if I can pull it up. We did get a confirmation of Mr. Knight through Empire Magazine's write-up recently. So this is the image of him right there. And he's more of a kind of debonair, quick talker. Will you elaborate more on Mr. Knight?
So, personality-wise, try to describe him. If just to like for anyone who's just like casually into it, he's the one that would probably be the closest to a Deadpool type. Like he understands that the fourth wall exists. He doesn't really mess with it too much, but he will still just quite frankly show up and break your kneecaps and then continue on to talk trash and various other things. Mm-hmm. While, at the same time getting a nice sip of wine in it every now and again. And his mask somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, that's a very good comparison, is Deadpool-ish. So we're getting a handful of fourth wall breakers in the MCU coming up. We've got She-Hulk. Of course, Deadpool is coming, and more on that later. Ryan Reynolds dropped a little update on that when we do MCU news. We'll talk about that. But Deadpool is coming still to the MCU. So it'd be really great to kind of get them together, but...
It would. We'll see. Let's touch... You have anything that you want to really touch on? I have two things.
Real quick, I was gonna say that so he deals with dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder, and he's got all these different characters, and it deals heavily with this mystical Egyptian god influence aspect. Where you kind of deal with dark magic, and he hunts vampires and werewolves and all these different types of things. But it's very, very heavily in the world of mental health also. And so in the comics, there's sane, or there's insane, and there's super sane. So Mr. Knight might be considered super sane.
Yeah. He's on that level of being super sane. Yeah.
So will you explain super sane?
So super sane is like not super sane, but super sane. I'm saying it, but I'm not saying it. I'm okay. Yeah, super sane. You're completely aware of your existence. It's characters that know that they are a comic book character. And so then from that, a lot of their decisions may seem overly outrageous because they know, in short, it doesn't matter. And it's very... It's kind of, my opinion, it's a little sad because then it's like they're only doing this because they know I want to see it. Am I to blame for this now? Well,
yeah, it's direct fan service, kind of, from the actual character.
From the actual character. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but everybody around them, of course, has no clue that this is going on, so they seem insane to them because they're talking to the writer or the cartoonist or the inker or whoever,
Some of the other characters that pretty much all of the Pool characters, the Deadpool, Gwenpool. Trying to think, there's another one.
There's a whole spectrum of them, just like Spider-Man.
They
because he wants to be like Spider-Man.
Because he wants to be like Spider-Man. They're all super sane. Moon Knight is pretty super sane as well. One of probably another who's not in Marvel character who is super sane. Howard the Duck sometimes too. One character not in Marvel who's super sane is the Joker. That's just on the DC side of it. If that helps anybody have any other comparisons of understanding this a bit more, because the Marvel ones are usually heroes. If there's anyone super sane anywhere else, typically they're a villain, and they do the most messed up stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to be weird. Moon Knight is going to be weird. On the surface, it looks like it is just, it's dark and it's gritty, but, excuse me, they have yet to show the silliness of like the Deadpool-ish type craziness of Moon Knight. So I kind of hope that won't catch fans off guard. And because going in, I mean, we've got this Stephen Grant, who for whatever reason doesn't seem to be similar, unless he is becoming that person of the comics. But
they got Tom.
Yeah. Also, so in this write-up, where'd it go? This Empire write-up, where they talk about Moon Knight and they talk to Kevin Feige. He says they're not pulling punches. Like, they are going in and they're gonna it's gonna be dark and it's gritty. It's gonna be gritty and it's gonna be something completely different. Like, they've already shown, like, he's got blood on his knuckles. He's got blood on his crescent moon weapon there. So
Moonerang.
Yeah, it's Moonerang, so it's kind of like a Batarang. So there are definite Batman similarities, but it is so much different than Batman.
It's like the brutality of it, brutality quotations, is similar to some Batman, like Frank Miller Batman. But as far as like character-wise, overall, it's like you take a little bit of Ghost Rider, you take a little bit of Deadpool sometimes, and then you do this with them, and then you put white over it, and you have a Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what it boils down to, because like Ghost Rider has the spirit of vengeance, and he has the goddamn Khonshu. He has Khonshu in him. Khonshu is also not a good deity, like at all.
He's an elder god. Getting a little deeper into the comics, but I want to get into that here in a little bit, because there's kind of like a new revelation where I think if you watched our last video, you know that I was trying to tie this into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Well, now there's more confirmation for that, so I am going to get into that in just a little bit right after we watch this trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've seen this part where Steven is dealing with not being able to sleep and his mental health, and it's kind of like a Fight Club-esque type thing. But here in this next scene, like, Khonshu is like, he is literally having visions of Khonshu, and Khonshu is tracking him down. And there's the outfit that he's wearing right here. In the other trailer, we see him driving that truck where he kind of awakens and he's got the gun in his hand. And then he kind of wrecks the truck and falls off of the side of the cliff. And there were some fan theories that he would be dusted, that we were actually seeing right before Infinity War. And he would be dusted, and then he would reappear on the ground after, and that would be kind of explain how he survived. But right here we see Khonshu. So I mean, in the comics, Khonshu has actually resurrected him several times, and that's actually how he got his power in the first place. As Mark Spector, he was mercenary, and things went wrong, and somebody kind of laid him at the feet of a Khonshu statue, and Khonshu just decided to make him his avatar and take his body.
And Khonshu does have cultists that worship him. One of the more prominent Moon Knight storylines was the cultists having Moon Knight go out and take other supernatural beings' powers. Like, he took Doctor Strange's magic, he took the Phoenix Force from what's her face? Jean Grey.
That's insane. Like, that's
so
not somebody you want having the Phoenix Force.
Yes, no, and it'll be very interesting to see what they do, especially since they now have everything. But it's only the first season, or this may just be an event series. So we'll see
Yeah.
how far they go.
Yeah, and
Yes,
that
sir.
was another thing I forgot to get into with the Empire magazine write up is they're so from what I understand, what we thought the way Oscar Isaac was talking about it is that it's a limited series. However, they are kind of hoping that fan reaction will be good enough to do a season 2.
Okay.
They're kind of waiting to see.
Because there's a lot they could get into with Moon Knight, because of some of the ties he has with various other heroes and villains. Like one villain he deals with often, especially now since we've seen the Netflix stuff like bleed over into the MCU, is Bullseye, and he also has teamed with Echo on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So, therefore, he could easily just, team up with Matt Murdock, just happen to be in New York type of thing.
Yeah, and we know that Matt Murdock is going to be in this, and just something in the MCU news that I'll go ahead and say because it ties into this is that all of the Netflix Marvel series they're being taken off of Netflix, and they were technically Marvel TV properties distributed through Netflix. But now that Disney has their own streaming service, they are pulling them from Netflix, and in March they will go on Disney Plus. So that's big news.
Yeah.
So I mean,
all right.
the Daredevil, the Matt Murdock Daredevil, and the current Kingpin from the Hawkeye series could I mean, it doesn't look like they're actually variants. Like that's their story. They're just carrying over.
Yep. Well,
So
that's really
pretty
cool.
cool.
That's a lot. That's big news,
Yeah.
actually.
And you wouldn't think, but Daredevil, even though he's like a street level hero, because these people deal with like elder gods and fear and stuff like that, Daredevil kind of ties into stuff like that because he's the man without fear. So Daredevil does kind of show up in these mystical things sometimes. So we could have a Daredevil watch on this.
Yeah. Which would be really fun. Really good. It'll be good to see Daredevil in there because, Moon Knight's definitely going to try and fight him, and I'm down for it.
Yeah. It'd be super. Imagine a hallway fight between them two. Because
Hallway
if you look at the tone of this, it is very, very reminiscent of the Netflix Daredevil series.
Yeah. It'll be
So
super.
it would fit in very nicely.
Yeah. So many good things. What else? So yeah, well, let's go ahead and get through this trailer.
Alrighty. So we got Khonshu, and then him, a new scene of him turning around, and then we see him in bed again, and then we see him in the bathroom again, and now there is of course, mirrors and reflections are a big deal in this because they help him. Narratively and visually, they communicate that he is seeing alternative versions of himself. And we have seen that one reflection in the other trailer where he sees like two versions of himself and he walks away and they stay. So in this shot right here, he's in the bathroom in that scene where we saw Moon Knight beating the shit out of some kind of Egyptian monster or something. And it looks like he is Stephen Grant, and he's looking at Mark Spector in the mirror because this dude is kind of like no nonsense, and Stephen Grant is kind of like the fumbling doctor. Oh shoot! Oh man! I want to say that.
Dr.
Man!
Jekyll?
It's I mean, it's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, but I was trying to do like the dude. What's the doctor in Flubber? It's like the absent-minded professor. Yeah, he's kind of like an absent-minded professor type.
Oh, yeah. I cannot
He's
think
kind of,
of.
yeah.
Dang, I haven't watched Flubber in a very long time.
Yeah. Which was a remake of the absent-minded professor.
So okay, yes, I see that.
Okay. So yeah, he's having trouble differentiating because of lack of sleep, and also jumping between personas, or alters is I think what they call them now. That he's having issues. He doesn't know what's real and what's not. Like he's having like, seems like he's having kind of, I mean, just like in Fight Club, because I mean, if you've seen Fight Club, you get it, where he's kind of having like vague memories of things happening, but he doesn't think they're real, but they're actually him living a different life as Mark Spector or whoever. So he's kind of like trying to. This seems to be like our way in to this character, and him figuring things out is through this Stephen Grant persona.
Yes.
All right, so this March 30th, of course, and this is a new shot with Arthur Harrow telling him it must be very difficult for the voices in his head. And we get this weird shot of him showing a tattoo on his arm of like these scales balancing, and they're moving. But each side of the scale is a crocodile. So something about the crocodile is very significant for this Arthur Harrow character. And he's also, yeah. And of course, I mean, in Egyptian, I guess, lore, there is the crocodile-headed god. And he's got a crocodile on his cane, and we've seen other imagery of crocodiles in the other trailer too. Excuse me.
So Arthur Harrow originally, which they are remixing the character because he don't do that mess.
Yeah, he was only in one early comic. That was it.
Yep.
So for them to be pulling this name, this is a deep cut.
He was just a regular scientist. Like he had genius level intellect, but he wasn't anything besides just kind of a dude. He worked for.
Well, he was a psycho trying to do some kind of like genetic experiments and stuff.
Working for at the behest of an organization named Omnium. Shay helped me. Omnium. But that acronym doesn't have a meaning, and I triple checked because I was like, "That's weird." There's an acronym in Marvel that doesn't mean something ridiculous.
Or it's forced, like shield or sword.
So they could be taking some extra. Well, I mean, they're obviously taking some extra old stuff and like mixing it in, but doing what they feel like with it as they normally do. So we could see the rise of some type of new organization, because we do know he is the leader of some type of group. It could be a cult. It looks like a cult.
Yeah. So Ethan Hawke, who plays this character, said that he did research David Koresh as an influence for this guy. Yeah. And there is another character called the Sun King that is like a cult leader from the comics that he seems to be pretty similar to.
Well, depends what he does. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say he's another avatar for, I think, Ra. So it's kind of like the opposite of the moon, and that would make sense. However, there is another female character that was kind of like with the crocodile head in the comics, but I can't really remember much about her. That was kind of in the Moon Knight stuff, the Egyptian lore thing.
Yeah. We can look it up after, but the crocodile-headed god, whoever he is, that's gonna deal with however author's powers, if he should so happen to have any, actually work.
In this trailer, it looks like he does.
So yeah, I mean, it could be just could be Steven's mind just playing more tricks on him, be like, oh hey, that looks familiar. But tattoos moving on their own is also a sign of you're no one I want to mess with today.
Yeah. Plus, he's saying He said before that there's chaos in you, like he recognized the chaos, and now he is saying like it must be very difficult. The voices in your head.
Ooh,
So
that's-
it seems like he has gone through this transformation before, being an avatar of another Egyptian god, and of course the crocodile is also kind of like a figurehead of the Nile, symbolically. So that could just be some kind of some symbology of just Egypt in general, and the Nile.
could be. I hold. Okay. It could be, but I mean, there are going to be at least two bad guys in this show. Mr. Dr. Midnight? Mr. Midnight. Who's
Mr.
Dr.
Midnight.
Midnight? Mr. Midnight, who is...
I thought Mr. Midnight was kind of like a sidekick for Moon Knight. I didn't realize he was an adversary.
He's fought... I was about to say Mr. Moon Knight. He's fought Moon Knight in the past, so I guess it just depends on how they want to use the character. They could use him as, a character that is an adversary to start off with, and he ends up coming over to his side. But the actor did pass away who played Mr. Midnight in the show, so who knows? Actually, what if it does get a season 2? Who knows what could end up happening with that?
Yeah. For my money, I'm betting that Arthur Harrow he's an avatar of another Egyptian god, probably Ra, and he's the Sun King, or the MCU equivalent of it, and that's how he recognizes that in Steven, and he's kind of like, hey, we're just alike. I know exactly what you're going through. Let me help you. We can work together. I'm the sun, and you reflect me. You're my counterpart, but Khonshu ain't having it.
Khonshu's like, no, beat him with a stick. You want an unk? Beat him with an unk. Yes.
So I also think that here, because we get several images of Steven running from Khonshu, which is like this bird skull type god, looking thing, mummy looking thing. So I think maybe Steven was kind of created for him to hide or kind of deal with the stress of all this, and that is like his mind trying to deal with the trauma of this, and now Khonshu is trying to dig him out and bring him back under.
I'll let you pronounce this. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that's exactly the reason why they all split, and why we have Steven most of the time. So Sebek.
Sebek. Sebek? I don't know.
Sebek. Okay. Well, that's close as we're probably going to get. That is the Egyptian god with the crocodile head. That god is associated with fertility and death. Like, he's associated with death along with Anubis. So just like how there's an Egyptian god for like just straight up life, he's like, hey, I'll help you make babies. And there's Anubis who's associated with death. He's like, hey, I'll help you, bury people. So that could be why there's a scale, because he has to make sure to keep the balance of life and death always even.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So we'll see, but we'll see for sure later. I was about to say this month. We're in February still.
Yeah, well, I mean, not for much longer. Next week.
Next week. It's Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. So then we've got this image of him breaking this reflection, and so and he's telling it to shut up, and so it's probably, I mean, exactly like what Ed Norton was going through in Fight Club, where he is he's realizing that Tyler Durden is not somebody he wants to associate with, and he's trying to get away from it, but it's himself. So if you haven't seen Fight Club, I'm sorry. It's a big influence on this. So
on a lot of things like that.
yeah, so it seems like he's trying to escape this, and he is breaking the reflection, and then of course we get the Kid Cudi there, and then Kid Cudi. I keep mispronouncing it. Cudi. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm a 40-year-old white dad. So yeah, of course, a huge Egyptian influence. We're actually going to go to Egypt, is what it's looking like. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see the Mark Spector backstory here of him, origin story of him getting Khonshu, who resurrected him here. But in the other scene where we do see the Moon Knight kind of bandages wrap around Steven and he becomes Moon Knight, that could be like that scene where he's kicking the mirror and he's trying to get away from it, but it just finally takes him.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
Could be.
Yeah. So right here, this is definitely we've got the voiceover of Arthur Harrow, but saying there's definitely chaos in you. But this scene is definitely, I'm like 100%. I'm 99.9% sure this is Mark Spector, like talking to Khonshu, and this is the moment where he gets Khonshu, where he's in this Egyptian temple here.
Yeah.
Very Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones vibes here.
Which is I feel like a good, not a good mix up. It's good to see something kind of different. We haven't. Wait, when's the last time we had like an actual origin story for somebody?
Oh, Shang-Chi?
I guess so, but was it? Like, I mean, I guess so, because it went back into the past.
Yeah, but it didn't
okay,
really show
fine.
how he got the 10 rings, because that's also shrouded in mystery and something to be revealed that I think does still tie into all this. If you're aware of our big theory, I say our theory, but I don't know if Quinn ascribes to it. Well, yeah, I think so, because you're on board with it. I'm hardcore into it, so I'm kind of owning it, but of the whole, in storytelling, there's a thing called a MacGuffin, and it's basically like the item that drives the plot. And of course, in the Infinity Saga, we had the Infinity Stones and the power and the Gauntlet. But in this new saga, I'm pretty sure they're going to be mystical, magical items, and whatever. Yeah, and his Ankh or crescent moon ring thing is probably the one for him, because stick around. We're gonna get more into Khonshu and who Khonshu is and how it does tie into the greater MCU and Doctor Strange and all that stuff, and Blade and the Black Knight and all that stuff, because they're just down the street. They're like only a couple miles away from this museum in London. So we could very well see Blade turn up in this too, because they all are. This is very. So this comes out in March 30th, right before Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is Marvel's proclaimed first horror movie. I think this is Marvel's first horror series, even though it's like there's some definitely big horror elements, but it's also very, very, they haven't revealed it in any trailers yet, but if they're going to be consistent with the comics, it's going to be very, very heavily seated in the Sam Raimi horror comedy type thing.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see. I think it will be, because especially with him switching out with personalities and everything, I think it'll be a point in time where they all kind of clash and have it out with each other.
Yeah,
and then they'll
be great.
Yes. So All right.
Yeah, and the fun thing about Moon Knight is that, I mean, in the comics, it's kind of all over the place. So they can kind of pick and choose about what they want to do with him and get away with it because it's, yeah.
All right.
So right there, we get Arthur Harrow slamming his staff. I don't know, it looks like they're in some sort of temple. Slams his staff down on the ground, and then we get purple lightning coming from the top of one of these pyramids. So apparently they go back to Egypt and not just getting Khonshu there in the origin story. So Arthur Harrow is wielding some kind of purple magic here. And of course, the color-coded purple, of course, all the magics and all the power sets are color-coded in the Marvel Universe. It's just that visual language. Purple is usually bad guy.
I'll touch on this lightly because that's a hole. It's a deep hole. It's a very deep hole. Arthur Harrow could also be working for or with Aramatut.
Okay.
If you remember Aramatut. You remember Aramatut. Oh, wait, no, you didn't have to fight Aramatut. I did. Aramatut
one of your D&D campaigns?
No, Kang.
Oh. So we could see an intro to Kang here too. Dude, I didn't even think about that. Like Kang is the big bad for this saga going forward, guys. And there are some, we talked about it last week, there are some possible Kang tie-ins to Doctor Strange 2 and the Illuminati. But I didn't even think about Aramatut, which is another Kang variant from back in the day where he went back and kind of conquered Egypt, right?
Yep. And if he, they don't even have Kane doesn't even have to be in it. If Aramatut's staff is here, if that's what he has, then that's a whole thing in and of its own. That's an artifact.
Yeah, that's an artifact. That's a mystical artifact. That's a MacGuffin.
Yep.
Man, dude, you just blew my mind. I don't know why I didn't make that connection, but I remember when we were watching Loki, and when they went into the Nethers or whatever that realm was, I forgot at the end, and there was that scene of the pyramids, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's Kang's realm," because in his Chronopolis is the city where he rules from. There are bits and pieces from all his time traveling shenanigans, and there are some pyramids. So I don't know why I didn't even think about that, but yeah, good call there, Quinn. Yee. So we're getting, just like they did in the original saga, just like little hints that they'll call back to, and kind of pull in Kang and his origins and stuff.
Yes. Oof. That'll be rough.
Bruh. Man. So, and whose color is purple?
Kang. Magic one? No, yeah, you're talking about, yeah. Who's it's Kang.
So yeah, there's big purple power igniting from this pyramid right here, and this may or may not be in Egypt. From what I can see some more pyramids in the background here. And then of course we get the scene where the costume.
Embrace it.
And then we see Moon Knight in all his glory with the moon in the background. And then we get these bunch of bad guys, and he goes to fight them, and we get the amazing scene showing the shape of his cape.
I am the Knight. I am. Moon Knight.
Moon Man. So this, I don't know where they're at. it looks like some sort of
Wait.
medieval times on the left, but on the right there's a pyramids. I don't know if they're like at some sort of carnival or museum type thing that shows different time frames. I mean, if you want to introduce Kang and the concept of Kang, a museum showing different times is a perfect visual concept there.
Like when I first saw it, I thought it was the Louvre, and I was like, wait, but there are horses.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, what's actually going on?
Yeah, and it's not glass; it's just
I think
see-through.
I think we're looking at the last episode right here.
Very possibly.
So interesting. We could have time traveling shenanigans now as well.
Because I mean, this is leading into Doctor Strange, so there might be some setup. Yeah. We might actually see Moon Knight show up in Doctor Strange too as well. It's very possible because as far as this being a quote unquote limited series where they don't know if they're going to do a season 2 yet, they're definitely expecting to do more with this character with Oscar Isaac attached. So we will see him show up in other things. But yeah, this scene right here is really interesting.
Wow.
And of course we get the little scene right here where he is throwing his moonerang and it comes back to him. And again.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you want to say about that?
No, it's just gonna be cool.
Yeah, super excited about it. So let me go ahead and dive down this little rabbit hole right here, and with this new information, and I will try my best to be brief. So here we go. So Chthon, right? Oh, that's not the one I was. So Chthon, or not? I'm saying Chthon. What I mean is Khonshu in the comics is revealed to be more than just an Egyptian god. He is in fact an elder god posing as an Egyptian god. So elder gods are like some of the dark beings from way back in the primordial soup of the universe. Yeah. And and with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, so you can kind of like, you've probably seen all the trailer breakdowns, but the poster breakdown as well, and all these little shards on the poster of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and now there is like a really high res one, and we can see in one of these shards, this is Chthon. Like, there's no denying that is Chthon in this image. Like, this is a live action version of Chthon. Like, it looks just like the dude. Chthon is the author of The Darkhold, which is the book that Wanda is messing with and reading through like it's, she's taking a course on it to try to find her children and the multiverse of madness. And and Chthon, so the Darkhold is basically kind of like the One Ring in Lord of the Rings. It's got like, it's imbued with a part of Chthon himself. Yeah. So if we are dealing with elder gods, Chthon, and Khonshu, and we've already had the oh shoot, what was it from Shang-Chi? The Dweller in Darkness is another one. Yeah. So seems like we're kind of building a team of elder gods here, and with some of the new toy leaks that show some of these other characters that will be big bads in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we've got it's like the League of Fear or something like that, where we've got despair, we've got I can't remember, but some of do you know what I'm talking about, Quinn?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm hoping you're not talking about what I think you're talking about, because for
Nightmare.
one.
So Nightmare was rumored to be the big bad for Doctor Strange 2 at the very beginning, and if they're pulling in these basically, so you know how the Black Order is like the team for Thanos, right?
Thanos,
so
yeah.
this Legion of Legion of Fear or
of
whatever is like the team for Chthon and these Elder Gods.
Yeah,
And
they're heralds.
We've already they're heralds, yeah, and we've already seen Shuma-Gorath going by the name of Gargantos because of legal issues or whatever. But and the tentacle monster from Doctor Strange thing, those are all like on the same team. They are all like in pact. So it seems like potentially the 10 rings from Shang-Chi are beaconing to these elder gods, and just like the Dweller in Darkness was speaking to Wenwu, Shang-Chi's father, it seems like Chthon is also speaking to Wanda, and she is under his influence to try to ransack the Illuminati or all these different things. And that if that's where we're going with this, then Khonshu definitely is in that. He's on that team, and so we could very well see Moon Knight come in and play in this movie too.
I would say Khonshu would be aware of that team. It's the MCU, so I'm thinking how they would mess with me. Khonshu would be aware of that team. Mm-hmm. I feel like Khonshu's, for whatever reason, also not at his like full power, but he's the only one of the other elders who like has a true blue avatar, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
And that's basically what Chthon is trying to do with Wanda, is like make her his avatar.
Yeah, because
so we're getting the literary language for Doctor Strange in Moon Knight.
Yes. and becoming an ad, huh? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm getting my names mixed up. Chthon.
Mm-hmm.
Not Chthon, but
Kashuyu, not Kashuyu.
The Moon Knight one.
Khonshu.
He's also one of the Chaos, like one of the Chaos Lords or Chaos Gods or something like that, right? They derive their power from the Chaos
realm. Yeah. Which is another bad thing. Which would also mean, god dang, what's his face is going to be involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Mephisto's around the corner.
Yeah, he might actually be the big bad that they have not revealed yet. I know the whole internet thing with Mephisto or whatever, but
yeah,
y'all, like, this is getting into it, because I mean, I mean, look at that image. That is Chthon.
I think here they're going to be dealing with a couple, probably end up 3, like some more elder gods and some elder evils, and then that end credit scene, because there'll probably be 2. One of them will be like the Mephisto equivalent of I'll just handle this myself. And then he gets up, and then the next, like, I'm not saying this isn't a super crossover movie, but it's just like how Captain America was, the last Captain America was a Avengers movie, but under Captain America's name. This is low key kind of that.
Yeah. Until
we have an actual whatever Avengers movie, Defenders movie, whatever you want to call it, Mystic Avengers, all that jazz. Because whatever that first movie is probably going to be dealing with the leftovers of Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and revealing the bigger threat that's behind all this, trying to take over Wanda, or if Wanda does end up becoming the Avatar for Chthon, and very evil.
Very evil.
But also, like we mentioned Daredevil earlier, in that comic where Doctor Strange defeated the this League of Fear or whatever it is with these characters, the way they were able to do that was to bring in the Man Without Fear to fight them, because Despair and all these other ones are trying to break open the walls of the multiverse or other realms so that they can feed Nightmare, so that they can feed on the negative energy or the despair or whatever, the fear of Earth.
Yes. Oh. That's why. They're called the Fear Lords. That's what it was. The
Fear Lords, yeah.
Yes. Nope, I'm not seeing this movie anymore. Sorry.
So, I mean, we can very well see Daredevil pop up in this too.
If we see Strawman Dylan, I'm out.
Strawman?
I'm going. Strawman Dylan, I'm leaving. There are some things you don't need to see in live action. Strawman is one of them. I'm cool with Nightmare. He's just going to make snakes pop out of your hands. Ooh, scary nightmares. Anytime somebody who likes to pretend they are a scarecrow or are a living scarecrow shows up and something you said is a horror movie, nothing good comes from it.
Yeah, so like the Batman villain Scarecrow, but for real, not some dude posing.
With magic, Dylan, it's worse.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it seems like the whole mystical, magical realm is the next thing for this, and even bringing in street level people like Daredevil can make it tie in to, and bring in these other characters that may not normally deal with magic and mayhem and stuff like that. Where they have to come in and fight. I mean, look on the Illuminati. We got Professor X and potentially Captain Carter, who in the comics is like the multiversal Avenger. So with all this, and this is insane how all this is going to tie together, and with all this mystical magic and horror elements, I mean, Moon Knight fits perfectly in all that, along with Blade and the Black Knight, building this team, which is like MI6 or something like that. And and of course, we could potentially see a Ghost Rider pop up in this. Kevin Feige's been wanting to put Ghost Rider in here for a long, long time, and of course, Norman Reedus is being kind of coy about potentially playing Ghost Rider here recently. So
he's basically like, hey, ask me if I'm Ghost Rider. Are you Ghost Rider? No, I can't say. I'm sorry. Bye.
Exactly. And even so much as like Gale Ann Hurd, who's the producer of The Walking Dead, kind of talking about it too. It's like, I think he would make a great Ghost Rider. You know, so yeah. So man, you bringing in the Midnight Suns and all these characters battling the Fear Lords in dealing with chaos magic and against Wanda and Cthon and all these. Yeah, which also kind of it makes it interesting and kind of complicated where Moon Knight's avatar is one of the elder gods from the Chaos realm.
Yeah.
So, you know, he could potentially be a double agent or an unreliable ally.
Yeah.
But Blade's going to deal with that pretty swiftly, I think.
Also, yeah. Also,
because MFers don't want to be ice skating uphill.
Moon Knight has dealt with Punisher a couple times as well.
Yep.
I say dealt with, but he got shot in the chest. So, you know, one of the Punisher
Dude,
things.
yeah, you throw in Punisher, it's like, I am not trying to deal with all this. This is not what I signed up for. John Bernthal, man. There's been rumors of him coming back and playing Punisher for a long time. So, I mean, you've already got 2 of those confirmed. And him basically, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and with all those shows coming back onto Disney Plus, like, I mean, it almost confirms that is, you know.
Iron Fist. Iron Fist.
Stop. I mean, mystical, magical realm, like, bring him in to Shang-Chi and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Just don't
all
shoot
tie in together.
golden bullets. Because, bam.
I'm sure they're gonna write it. Like they slightly altered Kingpin a little bit, like his power level. Even though it seemed to kind of cheat it a little bit, like he ripped the car door off in Hawkeye. But Vincent D'Onofrio was like, "Oh, what? He was that strong before." It's like, sure he was.
I mean, it takes a lot. I'll say this. Once again, I'm looking at the rabbit hole, but I'm not going to go down. It takes a lot to be able to take a blind man, grab his head, slam it into a table. He gets up seconds late, like literally a nanosecond later, to grab his head again, then slam it, punch him a couple times, and slam his head again. To where even though this man couldn't see, he saw that and was in pain.
Hit him so hard he could see.
He hit him so hard he could see. So, I'm not saying, you know, Matt Murdock is a grown man who fights other grown men in hallways. So, yeah, I'd give it to him. He can rip up a car door.
Okay.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's going to be super exciting to see how these things come together and how they interact with each other, and it's just going to be a big nerdgasm and a little nerd paradise there. Man, it's super. These next couple months with Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, and Batman, it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange 2, there are rumors that we're going to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man show up.
You know, it'd be really neat if it wasn't Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It can still be Tobey Maguire, but it's Superior Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I thought you were going to say Bruce Campbell as Spider-Man. That would be amazing.
It would give us a play on a variant. Because are you somewhat familiar with Superior Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's Doc Ock in his mind. Right?
Yeah. Because we only got one Doc Ock, so it would be very cool to see Tobey Maguire give us the best Doc Ock, who is Peter Parker, but also Doc Ock at the same time impression.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. And as far as like, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyways, yeah, I mean, oh yeah. Speaking of variants, like there's of course that rumor that we're going to see a superior Iron Man. But
Tom Cruise.
That's just mean. It hurts my heart, man. As long as he gets killed moments later, that's fine. In the same movie.
In the same movie. He does. It's a very funny way that it happens too.
Mm-hmm.
He's running and then just an explosion.
Except he can't run away from it.
He can't run away.
Alrighty, so
Terrence Howard.
sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just saying his roadie is Terrence Howard.
I mean, why not tie all that stuff in? I mean, wouldn't that be weird if just like we were watching one, we were literally watching one universe of Iron Man, and that moment at the end where he says, "I'm Iron Man," literally
and
split.
it goes a whole different universe.
Yeah, it split the universe, and that's why Rhodey was different, because in the script he wasn't supposed to say "I'm Iron Man." Like RDJ did that ad lib. Like he just kind of said that, and they liked it so much they kept it.
Wow.
And so that would be hilarious if that moment of change is why Rhodey is different, and we went a whole different route, and then we just revisit Terrence Howard Rhodey.
Random cutaway.
And that's why Hulk is different too, because after that point, everything was different.
Dang, I think we broke it, but fixed it at the same time.
Multiverse shenanigans. You can do everything and nothing all at once.
Oh yeah. All right. Was there anything else?
No, that's all I've got for Moon Knight. I'm super giddy and super excited for all the horror aspects and weird sci-fi weirdness of all this stuff, because I love sci-fi, I love fantasy, and I love horror, and seeing them all like kind of jam-packed together in this is fantastic for me. And that's one reason why I love like Cthulhu and stuff like that, because it's like sci-fi horror and aliens and all that kind of stuff is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeet.
Sometimes until you see a goat man in a lake whose neck is like 10 feet long and it just goes the entire time.
Yeah, of course. All right. So let's go ahead and close that out, and we're gonna cover the MCU news since we pushed that to the end. Typically, we try to keep this under 10 minutes, but sometimes it goes a little bit. But the goal is 10 minutes. So, all right. So MCU news. First up, we've got Raven the Hunter. Raven? That's not right.
Okay, I was wondering. All right, I was wondering.
Craven the Hunter. I don't know. I missed my K on this. Craven the Hunter, of course, is the new one of the new Sony universe movies that they're doing inside the Spider-Man universe, along with Morbius and all these things that may or may not be connected. We don't know yet, but we did see like the little silhouette of him in Spider-Man No Way Home when the sky cracked open.
It was one of the ones you could really make out.
Yeah, and he is being played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who also played Quicksilver in the MCU. So, I mean, multiversal shenanigans.
I don't want Kick-Ass to be Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess.
So that's yeah. So they're also playing with another casting here. One of the breakouts from the White Lotus show, Fred Hetchinger, if I'm saying that right, has been cast as Chameleon.
Which one is he?
White dude with blonde hair.
Villain? There were 4 of them.
I don't know. I didn't see the show. I didn't see it, but
younger? Is he younger looking or older?
Younger. So which is weird because we've already seen the Chameleon guy in Spider-Man Far From Home. He was the guy that was driving the bus for them that worked for Fury. Dimitri. That dude's name is the Chameleon character in the Spider-Man comics, but they're recasting him now. And I just thought about this. To be fair, he is the Chameleon. So
he could look however he needs to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also they have Marvel's. This is Sony, not necessarily Marvel, but Marvel has played with casting before, where for Ant-Man Quantumania, they're recasting Ant-Man's daughter versus the girl that played her in Infinity War.
They recast Wasp as well for Ant-Man, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So it ended up being Evangeline Lilly, but it was I can't remember her last name. Haley did the original in and I'm sorry, Haley, that I am forgetting your name. She's probably not even watching, but still. She played Wasp in the first Avengers movie. Is that correct?
What was the first Avengers movie? Or was the first Ant-Man?
It may have been the first Ant-Man movie.
Okay. I think it was the first Ant-Man movie, and they recast for Ant-Man and Wasp. I think. We can always double check and then put it in the comments later.
Yeah. If I get brave enough, I might actually ask her to try to come on the show, but and talk about. She also played a character in the X-Men show. Golly, I am butchering all this. I am sorry.
The one that was on Fox?
Yeah, the one that was on Fox with the guy from True Blood.
Oh. I know I see it in my head.
So technically she's two variants inside the Marvel universe already.
Oh, that's cool.
She would be really cool to come on the show and just
I
ask her a question or two.
Variant. Okay.
Oh man.
I want to be a Drax variant. I can even do the laugh.
Want to be a Drax variant? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find her real quick. Usually she comes right up when I type it in, but maybe she got off of social media or something. I don't know.
So yeah, different actor for Chameleon.
Yeah, I can't find it right now. So yeah. Anyways, we'll come back to that.
Crazy enough. Yeah. Crazy enough.
Yeah. So. Yep, and then of course the Netflix Marvel shows will be on Disney Plus in March. So next month we'll be getting those. And so originally I saw that New Rockstars reported that it will be available in the U.S., but then I saw comicbook.com was saying that it would be only available in Canada. But when I was looking up this stuff, Empire Magazine is also reporting that it is going to be available in America. So I'm taking two sources over the one.
Ooh, America.
Yeah. So also, Spider-Man No Way Home will be available on digital on March 22nd and then on disc on April 12th. And then the Ryan Reynolds news, he was doing an interview for his new movie, The Adam Project. And He's done a couple movies with this director now, so the interviewer was asking if they could potentially even work, if they considered working together for Deadpool 3. And he said, so typically the word has been lately is that they're trying to perfect the script and they're working on it, and that's been kind of like the thing, the running information lately. But he did say that hopefully he will be able to reveal a big batch of Deadpool updates, hopefully sooner rather than later. So I mean, there's no timeline on that, but there are rumors that he will appear in Multiverse of Madness, and that he is actually on the poster in one of those little shards doing the shish pose there. Now I don't know. I haven't seen any updates since they got the high res for the Chthon image there. I haven't seen that. I've only seen screenshots of the Chthon shard, so I haven't seen any updates on the high res, if that is Daredevil or not, if we can tell, if we're just seeing faces where we want to. But if he were to show up in Multiverse of Madness, at least as a cameo or something, then I could see that being followed up with a big batch of news and where it's going after that.
Yeah. I'll say this. If he is in this movie, which I think he is, I kind of don't want to know until I see the movie, because there's a lot of things. I know there's still going to be some stuff that they've kept under like lock and key until the bitter end, but there's one of those things that I kind of want to. I don't want to get my expectations up to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm doing my best not to look at all these leaks and stuff. I did that with Spider-Man, and it was fun in the moment, going, yeah, that's what I saw. But I think it would have been a lot more enjoyable had I been surprised. So yeah. That's what I'm trying to do with this one, is that even though they dropped Professor X on us, and freaking Patrick Stewart was like, in my 60-year career, people have tried to impersonate my voice, so I was at home. How could I be in the trailer? It's like, what? It's like, there's no denying that's your bald head rolling into the screen and speaking there, buddy. But yeah, it's funny seeing all these people play coy. And of course, Ryan Reynolds, like, oh, Deadpool is definitely not in Doctor Strange 2. It's like, okay. It's like, how many werewolves do we have going on here?
If Deadpool was in Doctor Strange 2, don't you think I would have told you guys by now? Like, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I can't say that.
I don't have my buzzer pulled up, but maybe I can find it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Wasted. That's not the right one. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, so
yeah, there it goes.
looking forward to.
After the whole Andrew Garfield thing, like, nobody's believing any of this crap.
Yeah. So it's all good. I'm looking forward to what the surprises that they have for us in Doctor Strange. Looking forward to the surprises, if any, for Moon Knight. I'm really just looking forward to Moon Knight, because Marvel, overall, they've just like always been very family friendly. And the times that they said, all right, there's that line, I think we're just going to touch it. And they like rubbed the line a little bit. The stuff was a bit more not enjoyable. I don't know. I enjoyed it more, I guess. So yeah, enjoyable.
They've gotten darker.
Yeah. Because I guess that's just my taste. I didn't realize that was my taste until I watched Peacemaker, and I was like, this is perfect. So
yeah.
And it'll be really interesting to see what they can do, because they've made sure all their TV shows are pretty movie quality. And
Mm-hmm.
for them to bring Moon Knight in the way that they are, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited for it leading into Doctor Strange and how it's going to kind of like set the pace or set us up for Doctor Strange. Because just the way that we had no idea when it was coming out, and then suddenly it was like, yeah, March 30th, by the way, and it was like, oh, I see what you did. It fits in nicely, right, leading into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So.
Yeah.
At the very least, that visual storytelling language for the whole Elder God Avatar thing that Chthon is trying to do with Wanda.
Yeah. Which I'm curious to see what the. There's a lot with that, but yeah. Yep. I think that's all I got.
For sure. For sure. Yep. Yep, that's all I got too. I'm trying to stay away from the rumors and the leaks. Excuse me. So yeah, next up in the MCU, we've got no hard dates for She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, or Secret Invasion just yet. However, Moon Knight, of course, is March 30th. Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness is May 6th. Thor 4. That was another thing I forgot to mention is that rumors are that we're going to be getting a Thor Love and Thunder trailer here any day now. So that could be potentially what we talk about next week. And then, of course, Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, November 11th. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special last quarter of 2022, around Christmas time, of course. But that is it. That's all I got. Anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. So thank you guys for listening and joining us. We hope that you will join us live on YouTube, on Facebook, or Twitch every Thursday night at 9:30-ish Central Standard Time. And please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so that you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and all that fun stuff. So don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesnew.com. And I'm Dylan.
Oh, I'm Quinn.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.